Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and this topic is something that I'm extremely passionate about, which is early childhood. I am very passionate about the foundational years. So this video is addressed to parents, guardians, anyone who's a part of that village, that character cultivation stage, anyone who has a hand in that, in any child or children. This video is for you. I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So this is something that I most definitely know how to um, speak on. I'm still learning, but I'm just sharing my experiences. So as it pertains, I saw this snippet a long time ago from a scientist, and he was basically saying that, children, which we always hear this, that they're sponges, but he's saying that you are the most important tool, because if you want your child to do something, just be what you want them to be, and they will automatically be that. So this whole thing about, speaking to them, I talk to you more than once, you're not listening, I have moved away from that mindset, and I started to approach it with more compassion and logic, and exalt the emotion. Because the fact is, children's brains and adults' brains are two different things. I know persons are going to be like, duh, but yet our actions don't reflect that we know that. There are certain things that may be logical and you know make sense to do from our adults' perspective, but from a children's perspective, this not so. So in order for us to mold them effectively, instead of us blabbing and speaking down and criticizing, and yes, we're human, it's gonna come out at times, but it's important that we limit those experiences for our children. Because for example, here's something that I did. There is a platform called Udemy. It has a myriad of different courses. So I went and I found um, childhood psychology, early childhood, behavioral development and milestones. I found those courses, and I started to follow, you know, pediatricians, different persons who understand a child's anatomy, their neurological function. So I can now parent from a position of knowledge, and not um, make her feel as if she's less than. Why can't she be what mommy wants me to be, or why can't he be what mommy or daddy wants me to be? I don't want them to ever think of themselves as less, when in actuality they are being normal 1-year-olds and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. So enough of that elaborate introduction. Another thing that I know for sure is key is finding out, researching thoroughly, not just by hearsay, but what school is aligned with your beliefs and your core values, and match your children to that. It's not all about name brand school. And if those core beliefs and values that you have in your search, if you find out that it's a name brand school, then fine. But I don't care about name brand school and expensive school fee and status. Guys, if anyone knows me, I don't care about those things. But there is something that I was a debate that I saw once, where this couple, they have 8 kids, and they were talking, and they're very close in age, and they were speaking about having them go to either private or public school, and seeing that they have so many kids, they wanted them to go to public school. But the dad was saying that, hey, I went to public and private school, and during my years at public school, yeah, I got, my work done, academics, everything was great. But as it pertains to the extracurricular activities, as it pertains to even the parents, because at the private school, those parents, he said that that was the first time he ever met a neurosurgeon. He was someone's dad. Um, Different persons who shape society in a major way. Those parents were amongst the private school family. So he was able to, network, because networking is key. He was able to network from a very, very tender age with persons who are foundational and impactful in society. So if it is that persons are striving to equip their children to be that way in society, then might as well put them in an environment where they're going to be exposed. I'm not saying that in other schools, in primary schools, you won't find that. But we have to just put emotion out of this and be logical. The likelihood of you finding that crop of persons at a public school is not likely. So he positioned himself, so he placed his children where they would have not only an opportunity to get a perfect GPA, but network. Because I have been to prep schools, which are equivalent, which is equivalent to private school. um, I've been to tertiary institutions, and guys, this is going to sound very contradicting, but I flourished the most mentally last year, like 2020 to 2021. That's when I flourished the most. That's when I was able to think the most. When I was in, you know um a tertiary institution, I'm not going to name the ones I went to, but when I was in that setting, I did not have time to learn. And follow me here, I know it sounds dumb, but listen, I had 6 7 modules. I had tests every 3 weeks, every month, every this, from all those different modules competing. I only had time to study, right? Just to pass the test. I didn't get a chance to really absorb and learn. The way I learn is not just reading something and just putting it back on paper. That's not how I learn. My field of study was practical. So I didn't get an opportunity to put what I learned, that theory, and apply it in a practical setting. So the learning was incomplete. And yes, they're gonna say, okay, it's your obligation to go there and find a construction site and XYZ. But reality is, there are not a lot of sites that are willing to take on students just like that. But if it was coming from an arrangement from the institution, then I'm pretty sure that they'd be more open if things were more structured. So, all right, guys, I got cut off. What I was saying is that I didn't have the opportunity to really absorb what I was being taught. I mean, a lot of the guys in my class, they had prior knowledge, so when you know the material was being relayed to them, they could actually picture and put together and learn, right? So the reason I brought that up, follow me here. When I exited that institution, what got me my jobs and placement and whatnot was not that I went to university. Because this HR manager that I met some time ago, she said to me that I'm gonna get an email with 100 qualified applicants. You all are bringing the same thing to the table. So the degree, the whatever you have, that is okay, fine. But what else can you bring to my company, to the workforce? Everyone here has what you have. What is it that you can bring? Which is why they always say, okay, extracurricular activities make you more well-rounded and whatnot. But in actuality, when I exited school, it was my connections from prep school, from high school, the network that I had, forged throughout the years. That is what got me where I am right now, or where I was. So it's very important, because all those persons that I went to prep school with, all of them are, shaping society in a major way. They're all, ahead of their game. They're entrepreneurs, they're doctors, they're, big in tourism. They're really shaping the course of society right now, and that is exactly how I want my child to think. in a revolutionary way, in a I can do anything um, way. That's what I want her to think. And if it is that I have her in an institution that limits her or doesn't understand her, and is going to create those ill experiences and that doubt, that self-doubt from the early age, that's going to be almost impossible to eradicate when she's an adult. You see that self-doubt and all of that? Nah. Because I know for a fact that majority of persons who are adults, when they start to unravel all of their trauma, why am I this way, why do you behave that way, they always go back to their fundamental years, always, which is something that is unavoidable at times, because persons may have to go to work and leave the children with, a friend or stranger, or I understand that sacrifices have to be made, but I'm willing to sacrifice their fundamental years. If I don't have a stable job, or if my business doesn't take off the way I want it to take off, then I don't have an issue with that, once I know that I am using that time to really mold my children. So I say all of that to say, when you're selecting schools, make sure that the teachers, the overall tone, setting, atmosphere is something that is conducive to not only learning ABC 1, 2, 3, the capital of Kingston is Kingston, not that alone, but life values, morals, principles, like look at the moral of it. Because I don't care if my daughter becomes a doctor or the cliche, necessary and essential workers for sure, but everybody has their role and function. Everybody. Because if garbage men and women decide to strike, then all of these diseases are going to just have a joyride. We're going to live in a very the doctors are going to get sick, everybody's going to be sick, right? So everyone has their place. I don't look down on anybody because of what they do. Everyone has a role and function here, and the only thing that separates people in life is just access, and what allows you to have access is how much money you have. So really and truly, I'm not going to ever teach my daughter that the only way to reap success in life is to, get your master's and your PhD, because we're living in the times of innovation, of social media, of as long as I have a phone, I can and great marketing skills and an audience, I can make some money. So I'm just gonna help her to tap into. I'm going to help her and him to tap into what's really important, which is developing their character. Because Lord knows, all these people out here, they have such low and poor communication skills. Oh my God. Like, it's awful. Sorry, I'm distracted, guys. But yeah, if I want to make this video long, it's still long, but hope you enjoy. Bye.